For those of you who might have rock climbed, you have a sense of how amazing an activity this is. It gives you a physical challenge, it gives you a mental challenge, builds your skill set, and climbing outdoors is incredible because you get this variety of terrain, you get scenery, you get nature, fresh air, all that, but not everybody has access to the outdoors to climb regularly. And we see this in the growth of climbing gyms, dedicated facilities with climbing walls, other facilities that have added climbing walls. And one of the challenges with this is, how do we create the variety? How do we keep people wanting to come back? How do we challenge them? How do we make it interesting? It's estimated that there are 1,000 to 1,500 people in the US who try indoor climbing for the first time every day. How do we capture those people to make them want to come back and become regular members to the gyms? If we look at the Denver area alone, there are 25 commercial facilities around here that specialize in indoor climbing. And if you go to these facilities, you look at the walls, they have just a whole bunch of holds around there, and each route by difficulty is marked by a piece of colored tape. And it becomes almost overwhelming when you're looking at this tape to try and figure out what route I want to take. And you're really defined on what you're going to do based on what a route setter thought you should do. So we see a huge opportunity to add just a little bit of technology to the mix here and create a much more dynamic, much more interesting, exciting type of situation with added benefits of bringing in additional populations to climbing, challenging folks who might be training for a competition, things like that. So what we've done is we've put just a simple LED into each of our holds that we can change the color of. So now someone can navigate to the bottom of the route, say, for example, I want a 5/8 route, pull it up on a tablet, and all of a sudden those holds are going to light up a pattern. That's doing what the tape does. In and of itself isn't all that great, but it creates unique opportunities. So if you imagine when you were a kid and playing a game of horse with a basketball, you had a friend who took a shot, you had to match the shot. They took another shot, you had to match it. What we can do with our wall, because it's smart, is have one person lead the route. So they climb it, whatever holds they use, the wall is going to remember those. And then when the next person comes along, it will light those up, and that person has to go the same route. We can time them, give them feedback. You have a winner, you have a loser. We can create a game where you're climbing and it gets more and more difficult until you fail. We can continue to challenge people. We can have a game where you're climbing up and have to touch as many holds as you can to get extra points. We can add opportunities for folks who might be colorblind, who otherwise can't see the colors of tape, and we can give them feedback in a way to bring in that population to want to climb and be more excited about it. Another group we can target that really is limited are folks who are blind. All right, right now they have the ability to come into climbing gyms, but typically what they rely on is a headset with someone at the other end of the rope telling them exactly what to do. And it loses the independence, and a big part of climbing is that independence. It's up to you to be up on the wall and doing what you want to do. So now what we can do is put speakers in our holds, since we already have the electronics, and let people echolocate based on what they can hear. We can work on folks who are training for competitions and they're doing a very difficult route and track the time it takes to get through the route, where they might be getting stuck, give them coaching on how to speed things up. All sorts of opportunities. We can open it up for parties for kids because we can create the games and get them engaged. This lets families where the parents might have climbed before they had children and felt like they can't participate to now bring their kids along in a way that they're going to be excited. So there's just all sorts of opportunities that we can do, that we can attack with this technology and the system that we've developed. We've got the hardware figured out. We've already got prototypes of that. We're ready to start building some walls. We've got some basic software. Where we really need the help now is getting into more of the gyms, getting in front of them, signing up those customers, building the business that we need to make this successful. And that's where I could use your help today.
So whenever I take my dog for a walk after the rain, I often notice that a lot of sprinkler systems start working after we've had quite a few hours of good rain. This obviously is not good because it's a waste of water in a world in which water is becoming a more scarce commodity every year. It also unnecessarily adds to your water bill. Any watering after rain is going to be absolutely unnecessary. It's not going to have any benefit whatsoever for your lawn. And if you live in an area like myself where we have water restrictions, I actually consider this a missed opportunity because we have limited number of days where we can water our lawn. So if I water after rain, if I didn't do it, I probably would be able to do it the next day, which, might have been, hot and dry, for example. So it seems like there is a need for a solution that kind of intelligently and efficiently uses water for irrigation systems. Obviously, you could argue that as a homeowner, I could go to my watering system and turn it off manually, which is fine. However, sometimes I forget, sometimes I'm not available, so this is not a very good option. A solution that efficiently uses water is going to be beneficial for everyone, for homeowners, for parks, for green spaces. But I'm particularly focusing on a specific class of customers. These are customers who are facing a push by the community to become more green and sustainable. They want to cut costs, operating costs, and at the same time, because of the type of their business, they are forced to maintain a certain level of quality for their lawn. This class of customers are golf courses. What I'm offering is a product that can actually measure the moisture content of the soil in real time and allow you to adjust it based on weather variations. Now, if you look around, there are a lot of products out there that do exactly that. These products, however, they either use a battery for powering themselves up for the sensors, or they use solar cells. If you use solar cells, you're not going to be able to operate on a cloudy day, or if for whatever reason the sensor is placed in the shade. If you're using battery, you're going to have to replace the battery every few months, which is going to be, especially for a business as big as a golf course, is going to be a hassle and requires a lot of labor and all that stuff. What I'm offering is a solution that actually harvests the energy that is already there in the environment, and this is temperature differential. So by comparing the ambient temperature with the temperature in the soil, I relate it to the moisture content of the soil, and I generate a voltage which is going to be proportional to that metric. By doing this, you can actually have a real-time sense of the moisture content of the soil, and you're doing this without a need for batteries. So if you think about it, this is a solution that promotes sustainability in water by using devices that are eco-friendly themselves. No battery, no solar cells, and no need for maintenance. We have a working prototype of this device, and we're very excited about the technology and what it can offer to customers with high amounts of water consumption. And at this point, I'm looking for a partner who can help me with day-to-day business operations, and perhaps help me with getting more customer interviews to get more feedback from the community.
Taking notes is crucial for many business process, but this is not always feasible for a lot of cases. Think about the case where we are in a surgery room, the surgeons and their assistant are busy on their plan and assigned task. And also it is difficult to send one additional person to go inside the surgery room just for scribing. But all these notes are very important. So the current practice used in surgery room is just to use a surveillance camera or surveillance auto capture devices to make a record what happened during the surgery. And after the surgery, the surgeons as well as their assistants and all the participants still have to take time to make notes. So this process is both time consuming and also error prone. But think about the case, what happens if all this can be done automatically? In traditional technique, this is not very easy because we don't have material machine learning and text translation softwares. But now, with the advance of the technology, particularly for the deep learning technologies, all this can happen. This is particularly true when I use my research, which integrate deep neural network together with high-performance computing. Using these technologies, we can capture the audio signals and also translate all these audio signals into text with almost 100% accuracy. And beside this, we can also use the text summarization technologies to provide the readers not only just the text from either video or audio, we can provide one additional level of processing so that the summarized information may be even more useful to capture what is the key event happening in the surgery. So what I'm planning is to use and integrate this technology together to build a smart automatic note-taking system. And hopefully this can be used to first save the time of the doctors and their assistant to taking notes, and also reduce the error when they make the notes. Right now, I'm implementing some prototypes and hope you can help me to find some potential customers.